Welcome to the Cosmic Wave, everybody, the podcast where anything can happen. Co-hosted by me, Jets, and other co-host, Echo. I'm 100% prepped for this episode, this deep dive episode, actually, I want to also add. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1.
Boom. Hook, line, and sinker. We got it. We got one, Jet.
We got him. We got him by the hook. We put the bait on it. We put the bait on the hook, and now we threw it into the pot of water, and now we reeled it in.
Yeah.
Now they're stuck here. Now you can't leave until the end of this episode.
Exactly. Who doesn't like a giant tree, a raccoon, a green lady, and Chris Pratt? You know, that's a winning combination if you ask me.
You're forgetting one.
Oh, and the other guy, Drax.
Yeah.
I become invisible to the eye.
I don't know how much you remember of this movie, because when this movie first came out, I'm pretty sure I was like 14, and I didn't see it in the cinemas. I remember some kid had it illegally downloaded on his laptop, and I was just like leaning over, being like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, look, that person did a jump. Whoa, they're on the floor fighting. Whoa."
My godson, that's wonderful.
You know, that is so funny, because that's exactly the same way I saw the first movie in high school too.
It's like a drug deal, but you know, it's like movie edition.
Yes. But yeah, like you said, it came out in 2014, the first movie. I was literally surprised that it came out in 2014 because, one, that's 9 years ago. It's almost 10 years old. I'm like, oh my God, that's insane to think about. But also, it's like the CGI holds up really well for 2014. Yeah. It's insane how good it is.
Everything about this movie holds up very well, from the humor to like the action, like even the sound. The soundtrack, the soundtrack, Jet. You know, with the head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The music. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
But I find it very strange how this kid from the start of the movie was just kidnapped. Like nobody saw it or anything. You know, just random aliens show up and they just adopt this random kid who just lost his mother.
The boy gets abducted after saying goodbye to his mom. Actually, he didn't say goodbye to his mother. She reached out her hand and he didn't take her hand. Now he has a whole bunch of issues throughout the movie. Do you see that guy?
That guy's got some issues. Doesn't want to open his present. What the fuck?
Literally doesn't open.
Come on, my guy. It's a present. You're a child. Open it. I will say the dialogue and like everything is like super funny in this movie. I think the movie was written so well, and I don't know if some of it's like, you know, improv, but there's a scene where Star-Lord, he's taking a little orb which has the Infinity Stone in it. There's this guy who comes in and he's like, "Oh, you're coming with me. We need that orb. You're a prisoner." And then he says his name. He's like, Star-Lord. And then the guy's like, Who? I think that's so funny.
Yeah, like there's some things that like make it so cringy when like you either say the name of the group or the name of their hero / villain name, whatever. I think like everyone knows the meme of like the Suicide Squad, where it's like, what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad? And it's like, that doesn't work.
It's funny because I feel like Suicide Squad saw the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're trying to replicate that. There's this amazing scene when all of them are like in this room, and they're like, "Oh, we're all a bunch of jackasses and idiots, but together we can do this." And that feels very earned to me because throughout the movie, you know, they're constantly butting heads and stuff, you know. But in Suicide Squad, they're just sitting down at a bar and they're like, "You know what? We need to put our differences aside now and follow the plot of the movie. Everyone turn to page 8.
Yeah. There are some things like Guardians that progress the story very naturally. Yes. And it makes so much sense. You're like, okay, I feel this connection with this character and I see why they're doing the things they are doing, whether that's good or bad.
I think by far the most compelling character out of all of them was actually Gamora for me. I actually found the relationship with her sister and her history to be very interesting, Jet. You could clearly see that she's like, "Oh, I don't like my dad, but I have to do it because my dad's a big purple guy and he's kind of scary. He's bald."
Gamora and Nebula both got daddy issues for real, basically.
But I like the rivalry those two have in this movie, you know? I know it's like more in the second movie, but this movie, there's still something there, and I'm like, oh, I like that. And then there's, you know, Groot and Rocket, which, best duo in the history of duos. Also, Groot has, by far, one of the best shots in the movie when he just impales 5 guys and then turns and smiles at the camera.
Since we're talking about like Groot and like Rocket and Groot's relationship, literally them two together, Yeah, I agree. Best duo.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where they're escaping the prison and, all the alarms are off and security's trying to, shoot at them and stuff. And then Drax throws Rocket the gun. And then they have that cool scene where it spins.
Yeah.
And then he starts shooting. Groot's spinning him around. They just work so well together. I love it.
Like on the lead up to the prison scene though, they're like just talking about the plan. They sit down and stuff. And I like how Groot I love the man. He just gets up and he just walks over and starts executing the plan as they're talking about it. And Rocket says, "I need that guy's leg." He just points to this random guy in the prison. He's like, "I need that guy's leg." It's just so funny because it cuts to action and then it cuts back to Star-Lord being like, "I need your leg."
You need my what?
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm just joking. We don't need the leg." And he's just like, I transferred that guy 30,000 credits. It's beautiful. The humor is it's so on point and I love it. I also like Drax in this movie. And I just like how the whole joke with him is like metaphors go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast.
Also, Jet, this movie did introduce us to someone's first on-screen scene.
First on-screen scene.
Yes, because he appeared in it after credits, but all he did was turn around and smile at the camera.
Oh, I think you're talking about. Are you talking about Thanos?
Yes, this was Thanos's proper first introduction into the MCU.
Right.
Yes, he showed up in Avengers at the end, but this he was actually talking.
No, he said something at the after credit scene of the Avengers.
No, he didn't. He just turned and smiled at the camera.
No, yeah, he did that, but he said, "I'll do it myself" or something like that. I think. No.
I'll do it myself.
No, that's Age of Ultron, Jeff. That's Age of Ultron.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, you're probably right.
You're jumping the jumping the gun. You're jumping the James gun.
Oh my god! Jumping the James Gunn.
Yes, we're at his movie right now. Let's not jump his movie.
You're right. Can't disrespect James Gunn. Yeah.
I didn't really get the hype of Thanos. I was just like, oh, what does he do? What does he actually do?
He sits in his chair, just being a dilf all day. Must be tiring.
Bathe the stowaways in your blood. Yada, yada, yada. Fetch me something to drink, daughter.
Honestly, though, if Thanos wanted to, riz up anybody, he could. Yeah. The way he speaks, it's just it's almost poetic.
Oh, yeah.
He could riz up anyone in the galaxy.
It's nice to have him in here, though, a nice inclusion. I feel like he should have been in more Marvel movies just to, build him up a little bit more. But I don't like the fact he sat around. If he wanted to, yeah, he could get up and get the Infinity Stones. What is stopping him? What is stopping him?
Laziness.
The man needs to stop watching anime and open the door and go touch grass every once in a while, come on. Well, I actually think Thanos is the kind of guy that would sit down and, watch anime, He's just, leaning over his chair,
no, you're right.
Looking down at his little monitor.
That's a good point because you're, in Infinity War, he is finally outdoing everything. He's going everywhere. I mean, he's sending some of his people out to collect some of the stones, but he's still out there trying to get something.
But what did you think of the villain in this movie, though? Ronan, Jess.
Ronan. Okay, I'm glad we got to Ronan now.
Where does he stack up against other Marvel villains?
I think he could definitely pose a threat to a lot of people. Because if you think about it, the only reason he lost was because Quill was well, I guess you don't find this out until the second movie, but Quill is a Celestial, like his father, because he's half of his father.
He's half a planet, yep. He's a big boy.
So if you think about it, the only reason Ronan died was because of the Infinity Stone. And that can kill pretty much anybody because it was the purple one. And I'm pretty sure the purple one is the Power Stone. I could be wrong.
Wiki check. Power Stone. Yeah, it's the Power Stone.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, Jet, we need to think about this for a second. He put the stone in his hammer. Take the hammer away from him. What is he then? Nothing.
I mean, he's still pretty.
No, because
he's still pretty.
I know. Look, I think a bullet to the head will silence him pretty well. Just one little pop. He's gone.
I don't know about that.
He doesn't have metal skin. I've seen his skin. He's a scaredy cat.
But he's pretty strong though. I mean, he did not even break a sweat fighting off Drax. When Drax just went up to him and attacked him. He is literally a threat without needing the Power Stone.
I know, but what did you think of him as a villain? Because to tell you the truth, I just think he's he's a pretty sucky villain. I don't think he was that good. I don't think he had a compelling motive besides, oh, I'm gonna get revenge on this planet because they did a thing one time. Oh, I've got a hammer now. Why are you dancing? Oh, I didn't find him that compelling, and I found it even more stupid when his big ship was coming down. And he's like, I'm gonna once I land on the surface and I put my feet on the ground, I'm gonna wipe them all out. And I'm just leaning back in my chair like, why don't you just hop on a little ship and fly down there right now? Why are you sitting up there? Why are you just chilling in your big ship being like, guys, push it down faster? I'm like, why don't you just get into an escape pod and just go down to the planet? I mean, Yardoon got down there and he had a pretty epic scene with his arrow. Just do what he did. And why is everyone so lazy?
Honestly, that is a good point, because he had ships go out and attack everybody, so he could have just hopped on one, because nobody would have expected that. You're so right. You expect the big evil villain to come in the big spaceship, you know? Honestly, laziness is the villain of the villains.
That's the problem, kids. Be a good villain. Don't be lazy.
Actually, though.
You know what I think, Jet? I think Star-Lord won when he was dropping them sick dance moves. Like, honestly, I think he should have just dropped the hammer there and be like, you deserve it.
You know, when I saw that scene again when I was rewatching the movie, I was thinking, like, it almost seems like the type of scene that people would complain about. If it came out like in a new Marvel movie now, people would be like, this is such a forced joke to put in this movie. This is so stupid. Why is he dancing?
I think it's also one of those things where it all depends when the joke is going to happen. Because if we're at like a very emotional scene and they start dropping jokes, it's going to take you out of that, and it's not going to feel earned, and it's going to like wreck the emotional moments. And this movie does have emotional moments, like the things with Groot, you know, when he was dying, and when he puts the ball around them.
Yeah, some scenes now that are exactly like you just described, where it's a serious moment, they crack a joke. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it really doesn't. Like in Infinity War, where the scene where Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange all met up with the Guardians in that scene where they all kind of had like that little mini fight, and then it's like, where's Gamora? Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? That was so
yes,
funny.
And it also makes sense for their characters why Drax would say that. That works.
Exactly.
There's points when it doesn't work, and when it's like it's in a serious scene, or it feels like that character wouldn't say that. You know, because it's gotten to the point where, like, in modern Marvel right now, it feels like every character is funny.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Why can't I have a serious character?
Oh, I want to hear about the money. Did they make the money?
Okay, Jet. Well, hang on. First, you know who played Groot, right?
Vin Diesel.
Yes, Vin Diesel. How much do you think Vin Diesel made for this movie?
Did he actually get paid a lot for this? Because this was something I was thinking about when I was watching the movie.
It's rumored that he made $13 million playing Groot in this movie.
Oh,
$13 million for 4 words.
Literally the easiest money you could get right there.
Man walked in, spent 1 hour in the recording booth, and left.
That is so crazy.
Oh, I know, right?
Easiest payday for Vin Diesel ever, like easily.
Yeah, and think about that, Jet. If it costed $13 million for like his voice acting, how much do you think the movie costed overall?
For the whole movie, I must say 120 million.
The budget of Guardians of the Galaxy was 232 million. In order for it to break even, though, the movie has to make more than 464 million.
So does the movie always have to make double the amount that went into it? Is that how it works?
Yes, because marketing is a whole separate thing.
Oh, true, yeah.
So do you think they made 46.4 million?
Honestly, I think so, because this was a huge thing when it came out.
Okay, all right. Well, guess what, Jet? It made a whopping $773 million worldwide.
Okay.
And it was considered to be the 3rd highest grossing film of 2014.
Holy shit. Okay, damn. And I imagine the second movie made even more of a profit after that, because at that point, when the second movie came out, I actually did go see that one.
It's weird, though. How did this movie like make that much money for a bunch of people that we don't know? Like no one knew Guardians of the Galaxy until this movie, you know? But also, Jet, now, do you remember the scene with the collector? Of a man, the collector, in the collector's room, right? Do you remember that man?
Yeah.
Basically, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in his...
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you some of them right now. We had the first alien from the Avengers. I think they're called the Jakari or something.
Oh, yeah. Thanos' army, the Chikari. Yeah, I know
Yeah, there was one of them in there. There was a dark elf from that one Marvel movie no one likes. There's Cosmo the Space Dog, which is apparently from the comic books. There was also Howard the Duck.
Yes, that's probably like the most like well-known Easter egg that they had in there.
Also, we forgot to mention that Stanley is, of course, in this movie, and he's just picking up some chick. He's risen up.
But overall, Echo, what are your thoughts about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1?
I think this movie is a lot of fun, and it has aged greatly. I love the humor. I love the characters. I love the aesthetic of the movie. I love those random yellow people in the background, those Simpson aliens. I love it all.
I don't know what you're talking about there, but Simpson aliens.
Well, there were just people painted yellow, and I'm just like, oh, look, he's an alien. He's painted yellow. In this movie, they just paint random people pink, green, blue, yellow, and they call it a day, and they're like, all right, you're an alien, you're yellow.
But yeah, make sure you follow us on our individual socials and make sure you follow the actual podcast socials. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Cosmic Wave. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the universe of our thoughts. Remember to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode, and feel free to share your thoughts and feedback with us on social media. Until next time, stay cosmic out there, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.